Hey, what's up guys? Toyhouze here, and today I want to talk to you about a build that I believe is going to be a lot of fun. I think it's really unique, and the reason I think that is because on the April 20th live stream, Riker, who was a guest with the Diablo 4 devs, said that his #1 most favorite build to play with was the Druid, where he was playing as a werewolf casting storm skills, and I thought to myself, how does that work? And he said it was the most fun that he's had out of all the 5 classes. So this is probably going to be one of the most fun builds you could play, and I decided I'd figure out how they put it together, and I want to show you guys what I came up with because it looks like this is probably how that werewolf, stormcaster, nature magic, druid build is put together. Really, really exciting actually. So the key unique that puts this all together is Tempest Roar. This makes it so that lucky hit storm skills have up to a 15 to 25% chance to grant 10 spirit, but also more importantly, your base storm skills are now also werewolf skills. That's right. So now all of your storm skills are also werewolf skills, which make Mad Wolf's Glee, which turns your werewolf form into your true form and gives you +2 ranks to all werewolf skills. So that essentially is giving +2 ranks to all storm skills. So that is sort of the synergy between being a wolf always and being able to also still be a storm nature magic druid at the same time with Tempest Roar. And you get that +2 skill to all of them. Really, really cool. This is the main 2 that work together to make that possible. And then I selected some key aspects that I think were very strong. Aspect of the Tempest, hurricane damage is increased by 7 to 15% each second while active. You can get this from dungeons, which is cool. Vigorous aspect, gain 10 to 15% damage reduction while shapeshifted into a werewolf. That's your true form, so this is always going to be on that damage reduction. Then we've got Storm Shifter's aspect. While hurricane is active, gain +2 ranks to your shapeshifting skills. And the reason why I used to look at this and be like, this doesn't make any sense. Well, Storm Shifter's aspect makes sense when you are playing a storm build and your shapeshifting skills are actually your storm skills thanks to Tempest Roar, right? So your storm skills are now werewolf skills, and whenever you use hurricane, you get +2 ranks to your shapeshifting skills, which are actually your storm skills as well. So that is how we make Storm Shifter's aspect work with this build. Really, really great. I mean, you're getting +4 to all ranks of your skills with just these 2 item slots, which is really, really cool. And then the item, Great Staff of the Crone, is a unique staff which makes Claw a storm skill and also casts Storm Strike at 120 to 150% normal damage. This is very, very strong because my 2 favorite abilities for the Druid are actually Claw and Storm Strike. Storm Strike is so powerful because it gives you 25% damage reduction. It also gives you a chance to cause vulnerability, and then Claw is just so cool. You're actually clawing. You have a chance to claw twice. You can get 10% increased attack speed on Claw. It's just a really fun beast ability if you ask me. This combines the 2 and gives it bonus damage, so really, really fun, unique right there. And then we have Overcharged Aspect. Lucky hit, up to a 10 to 20% chance when dealing lightning damage to overload the target for 3 seconds, causing any direct damage you deal to them pulse 350 additional damage to surrounding enemies. You can get this one from the Mariner's Refuge in Skazglen. And then there's Storm Chaser's Aspect. Very, very strong one. Tornado will seek up to 1 to 5 targets. That's really, really great. Instead of just wandering about aimlessly, your tornadoes will actually seek and destroy your enemies. And then finally we have Rune Worker's Conduit Aspect. I think this is one of the most powerful storm aspects actually in the entire game. Critical strikes with storm skills charge the air around you for 1 to 2 seconds, causing a lightning strike to periodically hit an enemy in the area for 500 lightning damage. This duration can be extended by additional critical strikes. So if you're constantly getting critical strikes, you're going to constantly be charging the air, and lightning will periodically strike around you pretty much the entire time. Really, really cool. Now when it comes to the skills, we'll just mosey on over here. We're gonna get in Claw, right? Because of the Great Staff of the Crone. Claw becomes a storm skill, and that's definitely gonna still get +4 to all skills, because even if it's a storm skill, it's still gonna get turned into also be a werewolf skill, and that's gonna get +2 ranks from Mad Wolf's Glee and +2 ranks from Storm Shifter's Aspect. So still gonna be super, super strong there. And then it's really just the same old build. I've made a lot, if you saw my last video on the Druid leveling, you're pretty much gonna do very very similar things. You know, you're going to get Heart of the Wild Impulses for more damage, get Tornado, make it Enhanced Tornado and Raging Tornado for vulnerability. If you go down here, Cyclone Armor is going to be really strong. You're going to want that. Enhanced Cyclone Armor and Innate Cyclone Armor. And, you know, most builds would get Earthen Bulwark, but it's actually better because you need Unstoppable in every build, right? It's actually better to just get Trample, because this actually is a shape-shifting skill, and that's going to get +2 ranks. So that's your way of acquiring Unstoppable without putting 2 points, right? Trample, you can just put 1 point into it. Now you have an Unstoppable skill, and if you wanted to get Earthen Bulwark to be unstoppable, you actually have to put 2 points into it. So not only do you save yourself a skill point, you also get a rank 3 Trample because of Storm Chaser's aspect, which makes your Hurricane give you +2 ranks to shapeshifter skills. So I definitely think Trample is the better choice over Earthen Bulwark. This is super strong. Nature's Reach. You're going to be dealing pretty much 9 to 18% increased damage to distant enemies. Always a strong skill. I love every single skill in this little skill group right here. I just think it makes Lightning or Storm Druid so much fun. Like Elemental Exposure. Your storm attacks deal damage, and they put vulnerability on your enemies. Every 12 seconds, Lightning Strikes, dealing 45% damage. Lucky Hit, dealing lightning damage, has a 15% chance to immobilize. If they're already immobilized, they do 15% more damage. That's awesome. One of my favorite skills so far, Bad Omen. Lucky Hit, up to a 30% chance when dealing damage to a vulnerable, immobilized, or stunned enemy that a lightning strike will also hit, dealing 55% damage. Absolutely crazy. Every time you hit them, there's a chance lightning is going to strike them. Like, how cool is that? Endless Tempest, I think, is also cool, increasing the duration of Hurricane and Cataclysm by 15%. I wish Hurricane would just always be on, right? Like a passive. Everywhere you go, Hurricane's just going to follow you around. I think it's such a fun ability, but alas, it is not permanent, but Endless Tempest helps you get there. Cataclysm also really, really strong, fun ability. I mean, the sky darkens, lightning strikes all over. Extending the duration of that is always fun. And then, you know, with Prime Cataclysm plus Endless Tempest, Supreme Cataclysm makes enemies vulnerable. And then you can finish it off with Perfect Storm. Your storm skills grant 2 Spirit and deal 20% increased damage when damaging a vulnerable, immobilized, or slowed enemy. Again, all of Storm skills are basically building that vulnerability. I mean, I feel like there's not a whole lot of customization when it comes to building your skills in the skill tree, but there's a ton of customization in choosing your aspects, putting together uniques. I just think this build is going to be so much fun because you're actually a werewolf casting storm skills because of Tempest Roar and Mad Wolf's Glee. Again, you have to get 2 uniques to put this together, but I mean, how fun would that be to get both of those? I mean, absolutely amazing. I'd love to see a werewolf throwing out tornadoes. I mean, clawing and dealing Storm Strike at the same time with Great Staff of the Crone just sounds like such a fun time. And this is basically my interpretation of that build that Riker played during the April 20th live stream that he was talking about, saying it was the most fun build that he's played. And so for that reason, I wanted to try to put it together. Let me know what you guys think about this build in the comments below. And if you have any ideas how to improve it, if you think it would be fun to play, and any other thoughts. And if you haven't seen my latest Druid leveling video, it's on the screen right now. I suggest you give that a click so you can learn how to best level a Druid in Diablo 4, and I'll see you there in just a second.